And so we can be so focused upon what we think we don't have and not actually realize that everything is right here. The treasure of life, the treasure of the universe is all here. Everything is right here. And we could say that we hear this. We hear that abundance is here, the glory is here. And yet we're so conditioned and trained to be in a frequency of limitation and to be expecting that we won't get, or it's not here, or we will be rejected, or things just won't go our way. And so then we live in this frequency of expecting limitation. We live in a frequency of expecting lack, expecting that what we fear is what is going to happen on some level. And we absolutely miss the great glorious reality that everything is right here. And it's just about opening and actually receiving the grace and glory that's here. We can hear, and I'm sure that we have all over the many years of our explorations and adventures, about like a gratitude practice, right? It's one of those things that comes in early in the unfolding. Be grateful for what you do have. Have a gratitude practice. And there's actually incredible wisdom in that, although it can be maybe a little misinterpreted. But the way that we reveal what is already here is we start by being grateful, as if we absolutely expect that everything that we are longing for is already here. And when we can be just grateful for what is here, you see, it's not quite the same as being grateful, like, okay, I'll be grateful for, what I do have and not focus upon what I don't have. It's actually about being grateful for everything that we are longing for, as if it is all here. We start with a thank you. Thank you for the most incredible abundance in this life. Thank you for the glory of everything that is already here. Because as we are grateful for it, we at a frequency level are saying, I'm not expecting to not get it. I'm not expecting that life is going to meet me with rejection and lack. I'm not expecting that things are going to be hard. I'm actually anticipating the shower of blessings in this life. I'm actually anticipating wild abundance and flow. I'm actually anticipating great, glorious divine support and love and care and holding. I'm actually anticipating miracles, right? So we start being grateful for the miracle of life. We start by being grateful as if it's already here, because the truth is that it is already here. And it's about opening to a frequency of recognition that it's already here. Grace and glory is here. Freedom is here. The light is here. Love is here. The unlimited, infinite, boundless beauty is right here. Pure, wild abundance is right here. It's just to include yourself and everything that already is in the circle of your life at the level of frequency, instead of broadcasting from a frequency of limitation and lack. And we're not speaking about manifestation on the level of using the mind or like the desire mechanism of limitation that is divisive, right? The desire mechanism of limitation desires pleasure and doesn't desire what it perceives as pain, right? So we're using desire as in its purest form. We're using desire as in God's desire, pure intention, right? And when our heart is aligned with God and glory and the holy yes, and the yes for freedom, whatever we really desire is God's desire. It's what supports grace and freedom, and it's different to desire that's coming from lack or limitation or wanting an experience or something in order to numb and get away from. That when we are recognizing that our life is an offering, that our frequency is an offering, our lived experience is an offering always to the whole. Always it is. And so what are we offering? Are we offering our fear? Are we offering our fear to the whole, or are we offering our wide open heart and love and full capacity to the whole? And it's not that we're not including fear. It's not that we're not meeting everything, but we're living at a frequency that does not anticipate lack, does not anticipate or expect to be rejected, ignored, left out, does not expect to be in lack, to be in stress, to be lonely and abandoned. We're moving from a frequency that's able to recognize how we are holding those frequencies of expecting within a divided belief in separation and limitation. And so we're recognizing where we're holding these frequencies, and we are opening to recognize that what we're truly longing for is actually already here. Love is here. Wholeness is here. Abundance and flow and grace is already here. And when we have gratitude for the incredible divine support and grace, then we open up the frequency field of our willingness to be receptive and to actually receive really our identity in light, our identity in God and glory, our identity in the Christ light, in the unity, the one. We're accepting our identity by recognizing that there can't be any lack, there can't be any division, there can't be anything missing. And it's not about a powerless hoping for, it's about a powerful knowing that absolutely everything that we are longing for has to be here, because otherwise we wouldn't be longing for it, right? Our longing is the clue that it's here. And it may not look the way exactly that we want it to look, but it is here and it is available. And when we are grateful for its availability in the frequency field of the unity and oneness of all, then we are opening to receive the magic and surprise in ways that we couldn't ever have imagined. The glory is providing and supporting everything that our heart longs for, everything. It's just that we can't control with our mind the way that it looks, because the mind's need to control is a frequency of limitation, a frequency of lack. And that frequency will never get what it thinks it wants, because it's already accomplished its goal to not get what it wants by the frequency of expecting that it won't. The goal is already accomplished, right? So it's just to notice then in the life where we have an expectation of lack, of rejection, where we have an expectation of there not being enough, where we are constantly telling ourselves that story, no, I can't do that, no, I don't have enough money, I can't afford that. Oh, I wish I could, one day maybe. Instead of that, it's like, thank you for the resources to be able to receive the grace of everything that my heart longs for. And not to even be in a sense of, oh, I shouldn't want that. I shouldn't want that. I don't need that. That's just surplus to my requirements, right? It's about trusting that if your heart longs, that somehow that is God's desire, and to open to receive the grace and glory of your longing already being fulfilled. Now, of course, the greatest longing of the heart is the longing for God and glory itself. And the more that we long for God and glory, for freedom, for wholeness, for love, the more that we long for our own revelation, we say thank you, because the revelation is already here. Thank you for the revelation. Thank you for the grace and glory. Thank you for the wisdom light shining in this heart. Thank you for your divine support. Thank you for your love, for your care. Thank you for always, always being here, great glory. Thank you for the ways that you reveal and care and love and hold. Instead of being in a frequency of, yeah, I'm abandoned by God. God's not here. No one is here for me. I'm not supported. Here we go again. Yep, I'm just going to be disappointed again. I'm not going to get it. Whatever it is, the love, the job, the resources, whatever it is, just to notice. And then in this moment, just receiving what you're noticing, just being really present and open with what you are noticing. And also to notice how often we tell that story of lack. And remember that the mind is incredibly powerful in its capacity to create. And so whatever we are telling the story of, whatever story we are telling ourselves, whatever story we are telling our companions as a way of connecting. Yeah, I didn't get enough sleep last night. I'm going to have a terrible day. Here it comes, right? Magic, right? I can't go to do that. I don't have enough money. Oh, here it comes, right? You won't be disappointed in your disappointment, because here it comes. The more that we tell the story of lack and limitation, the more that self-fulfilling prophecy comes online. And so in a way, when we speak about the heart sankalpa, we speak about what the heart already knows, because the heart's longing and the intuitive sense of the heart already knows the fullness and the unlimited and the grace and the glory and the blessing field. The heart already knows the miracle of love. It already knows. So we just start in the celebration. We start in the gratitude. Thank you for the blessings of this day, this great glorious day that's going to unwind in the most amazing, amazing ways, right? I can't even believe the glory of this day. I'm already receiving the grace. My gratitude is already overflowing for the beauty of this day. And you won't be disappointed, because the field of blessings will shower upon you, because you are open to receive the field of blessings. And this is the day that you're finding yourself saying, wow, it was so amazing, because I was just thinking about Lala, and I just walked out of my house and I bumped right into Lala, and off we went, and we had tea together, and it was so magical. And then Lala told me about Baba, and off I went with Baba, and off we go, right? It's just this absolute magic that unfolds. And suddenly, before we know it, we're living in a frequency field of love and miracles. We're living in a frequency field where our expectation of disappointment is being overarched by a principle of illumination that sees how easy it is to fall into the expectation of lack and limitation and separation and division. And how if we keep telling that story, if we keep telling the story of our own unworthiness and our own lack, then we will also keep telling the story of how, oh, I knew that was going to happen. I knew that it was all going to go pear-shaped. I knew that I was not going to get what I was longing for. I knew that I was going to be disappointed. And then you're not disappointed. You find you've got heaping loads, bucket loads, suitcase loads of disappointment, and then you're kind of reveling in, well, I just knew I was going to be disappointed, and now I'm not disappointed because I've got so much disappointment that I'm actually happy that I knew that I was going to be disappointed, right? You get it? Right? Where do we want to be living? What kind of frequency do we want to be living in? Do we want to be living in the Tao of Pooh or in the of Eeyore? Right? It's all going to go wrong. It's all going to go wrong. Yep, there it is. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone pear-shaped because I was expecting pear-shape. And what an absolute magical revelation that I expected pear-shaped and I got pear-shaped. Right? We get what we're longing for. We get what we are, where we are creating from, where are we broadcasting from, right? Just resting here and just noticing what is happening in your heart. Are you receiving the revelation and the grace and the glory? Are you giving thanks for the miracle of this life, of this moment? Are you already receiving the grace that comes when you are just so grateful for everything beautiful that is already here? Even if I can't see it, I know it's here. And if I just keep saying thank you, it is going to show its glorious face like a light beam in this life, like sunshine in my heart. If I just know, I know you're here, I know you're here, and you may be hiding, but I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not knowing and just resting here in the glory. I'm resting here, and I am willing to be like a daredevil. I'm willing to be here and just keep saying thank you. And I'm willing to live at the edge and not just rest, even in a comfort, right? We can rest in a kind of comfort that is the frequency of fear. I won't move out beyond the comfort of my own fear. I won't move outside the comfort of my own belief in lack, right? I won't move out of the comfort of my belief in limitation. I'll stay in my comfort zone, right? Can you feel that? Can you feel how easy it is just to stay in the comfort of the belief in limitation and lack? Not to dare to step right outside, to widen your circle of inclusivity, open to the universal abundance and flow. Say thank you, thank you, thank you for the absolute grace and glory of the support that is already here. Just to notice what is happening in your your nervous system, your consciousness, what is happening in your heart, your soul, what is happening in your field of revelation and transmission. Are you receiving yourself loud and clear? Are you resting in a frequency of great glorious gratitude that your heart's longing? You can't be longing for something that is not possible, right? Everything that you are longing for, of course it is possible, because otherwise you wouldn't be longing for it, right? The only reason that we long is because we already know it. And it's accessing, it's accessing our incredible capacity to create from love and abundance and the infinite boundless wellspring that where there is no lack or limitation. And here we discover what it is to really be free, right? We start to see what keeps us bound, why we can open to a sense of presence and radiant glory, and then why it seems like there are areas of the life that bring us into contraction and a sense of limitation. It's because we're expecting the contraction. We're expecting that I'm not actually worthy of opening to the fullness of my divine self. I'm not actually worthy, capable. I don't have the special juju. But the truth is there is no special juju. Every being is already whole. Every being is already whole. Every being has the exact wiring to open to the fullness of the divine. Every being is completely innocent and pure in heart. And it's about accessing, attuning to, yes, through the presence, yes, through the still, silent field, but not getting lost in an abstract idea, but actually being able to integrate and embody. And we integrate and embody by noticing in the life where we are holding ourselves back, where there seems to be resistance, lack, disappointment, where there seems to be stress. And we open up this moment with the most incredible gratitude, and we let God and glory into every single area of our life, into our heart, into our relationships, into our bank accounts, into our savings, into our wildest dreams and imaginings, into our secrets. We let grace and glory into absolutely everything. We hand our life over. I am yours. Everything is yours. Nothing is mine. Nothing has ever been mine. Everything is yours. Everything is yours. Every move that happens in this life is yours. And when I am in absolute union with you, thank you. You're going to give me your best. You're going to give me the greatest glory and beauty. Of course you are. Of course you are. I'm not worthy of it because I've done anything or because I've proved myself worthy, but because I am made in your likeness, great glory. I am worthy because the Christ light is shining in this heart and the Christ light is living in me. I am worthy because this life is God. I am worthy because this life is love. I am not worthy because I am someone that has got a whole string of ideas of what I've achieved or accumulated or how I've proven myself. I am worthy because I am in essence you. Wow. And now I am free, right? Thank you. Thank you for my freedom. Thank you for the freedom that is already here. Thank you for the love that is already here. And now I receive the revelation. I receive my identity in you, great glory. I receive the living alchemical patterning and blueprints of the Christ that is already active here in the wiring of consciousness. And I receive the activation to start living the fullness of the Christ light, the unity that I am. Thank you. I say thank you because I know that it's already here. My heart is swollen to bursting with gratitude. My heart is a wellspring overflowing of gratitude and love for the absolute glory of the freedom and heart and wholeness that this heart knows. Thank you, thank you, thank you for everything that is already here. Of course freedom is here. Of course freedom is here. I wouldn't be longing for freedom if it wasn't already here. And even if it feels that I can't see it or I'm not fully experiencing it, I know that it is here, great glory. I know everything that is happening in this life is your unconditional love, and I receive it unconditionally. I receive the joy and the pain. I receive the happiness and the sense of sadness and stress. I receive it all because it's all you. There's nothing else. I don't need to divide my experience. I receive it all, and I know that whatever is here in this heart, you have put here for me to receive, and I receive it all. Whatever it is, I receive it all with the most extraordinary gratitude. And even when I don't feel grateful, even when I feel really stressed and disappointed and upset and anxious, I just keep receiving it. I receive it all. And I know that as I receive it all and I open to the feeling, sensing field wider and wider, that everything that you are giving me is an offering of grace. Everything that you are giving me is an offering of grace. So I continue to include and feel and open and not label and limit. I just open to be a field of feeling and receiving and sensing and openness, where everything that is here is allowed to be here. And in my total openness, just receive more grace. And here is the revelation. When there's no resistance, or at least a receptivity of my resistance, start where I am, and I start with gratitude for exactly what is here. So just to be receiving this moment, what are you noticing? What is happening in your nervous system? What is happening in the field of revelation? What is it to be the light that illuminates and sees where a limitation and division as a story happens and perpetuates itself? What is it to be the light that from the still, silent presence just shines and illuminates? To be the awake awareness that is just silently aware, watching. So when we invite, what is the heart longing for? What are you longing for? It's such an incredible opportunity because it's a recognition of the heart's longing. And when we recognize the heart's longing and we open to the heart's longing at the level of frequency, we overtake with frequency the love, the longing, the grace, the glory. We overtake with frequency the beliefs in division and limitation and lack, unworthiness, undeservedness. Because when we enter the longing, we're entering the frequency of fulfillment, right? Sometimes the mind might say that the frequency of longing is a feeling of lack, a feeling of something missing. But when we really open to the longing, like we really open to the ache, we really open to the pull, the magnetic pull. We're opening to the magnetic pull of God, pulling us into God. We're opening to the true love affair. We're opening to the magnetism, the pull of the true flow of attraction, of God's pull, God pulling you into God, love pulling you into the divine love affair, the beloved loving you so completely, beloved, the beloved loving you so completely, beloved, that you can, when you feel the longing, you might feel yourself to be the lover, longing for the beloved, but you are also feeling the beloved's love for you. Love loves you. Love is calling you in. Love is pulling you in. And when you enter the longing, you're entering the force field, the magnetic field of a pull, of a draw. And when you trust that field and you say yes to what your heart longs for, without it making sense, you just say yes. You're saying yes to the beloved. Oh, the beloved wants me to go here, wants me to go there, wants me to make this for dinner. Okay, right? It's like whatever it is, whatever it is. What the heart is longing for, to be able to really reconnect and attune to the heart's intuitive knowing and just not question it. Just fall all the way into the love affair. Fall all the way into the heart's longing, the heart's knowing, the fullness, and let the love of the beloved have you. Actually have you, right? Be taken into what you are longing for, because in the longing lies the fulfillment. The frequency of longing, the ache of the longing is the fulfillment, right? Just to feel that in your heart. You don't need for it to make sense. You don't need to understand it. You don't need to work out if you can afford it. If the beloved is calling you, if you just say yes, you will find that the grace and glory and support for anything that the beloved is asking of you is going to be here. Of course it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And this is where the gratitude flows before you've even seen how it's going to unfold. Because if your heart is longing, then the fulfillment is here and the support is here. And this is the holy test. This is the holy test. Is your love, your longing deep enough, wide enough? Are you willing to risk it all for love? To know the love that you are, to know yourself in the oneness of the one beloved, the one love, the one God and glory. Are you willing to risk it all, to fall all the way in? Are you willing for your life to change and things to be altered? Are you longing for it, but maybe not actually truly willing to let the changes happen? Are you trying to stay in your comfort zone of limitation and fear, right? Just to see it. Maybe, yeah. Maybe there's ways that I am staying in a certain sense of limitation that feels comfortable. Maybe I'm afraid of losing this or that or whatever. Maybe I'm afraid of things changing and I don't know what it's going to look like. What are we willing to risk for love? What are we really willing to risk for freedom? What are we willing to give in order to receive the frequency of fulfillment in the heart? Because this is what we're speaking about, is that when we are willing to give it all, we will receive it all. Because this is how it works, right? And it's not the way that the mind thinks. It's not about scooping around your life and saying, okay, I have to give all these things away. No, it's just about giving yourself to the pull, the magnetic pull in your heart of what you are truly longing for, and then allowing life to reorganize around the frequency of truth. And to know that we cannot know what that looks like, and yet we get to meet all of the glass ceilings, right, that we put in place, all of the seeming boundaries, all of the reasons why not, that are due to our beliefs and unworthiness and learned limitations, right? We get to illuminate with openness, curiosity, compassion, and patience. We see, wow, of course I'm afraid. Of course there's fear. Of course I'm going to bump into myself and trip over my own toes in this dance. Of course. But we fall over and we get up. And we fall over and we get up, right? That is what this human life is. We're not expected just to sail into the sunset in the embrace of the beloved. That actually being in the embrace of the beloved is to keep falling over and getting up, is to be a warrior of love that just remains in the face of it all, remains absolutely consistent and in the fire in the face of life, right? The warrior is the one that keeps saying yes, no matter what weather patterns come in, no matter what life throws at us, that if our longing of the heart is deep enough, we will keep saying yes, and we will keep saying thank you for what we cannot yet see. That's the surrender, is to keep saying thank you for what we cannot yet see. Because what we are longing for is already here, and only our beliefs and our limitations and conditionings are obscuring the view. So when we are pulled by the heart, it's like that pull of the heart invites the consciousness to start to flow, to bring in exactly the situations that will remove the obscurations, the karmic obscurations, and bring us into a clear vision. And a clear vision isn't some kind of transcendent idea of perfection. It's a true perfection that includes everything. It's a clarity of seeing that knows clearly what we are longing for, and that our yes is supreme, right? And that we're willing to stay in the fire that burns it all, except itself. We're willing to stay in the fire and to allow the revelation of love, of God and glory to really take up residence in the heart, to ground in this life, to truly embody the light, the love that we are, and to taste the sweetness of this living reality. Right? So just to notice what is happening in your heart, your soul, your field. What are you noticing? what is alive. And just to notice too, what takes you out, what keeps you in, right? What takes you out and what keeps you in. And again, just being able to notice and just to see your field of your landscape of consciousness, and to recognize and to illuminate, not to make yourself wrong, not to overlay your seeing with ideas or judgments, but just to see where are there things at play that pull you out, and what supports you to keep saying yes. And ultimately, just to receive the great revelation that your heart knows, and that the intelligence is just continuing to bring online.